very own UEFA Women's Champion League champion, Emily Fox, just into camp. And she trained today. She's a warrior. So if you have a question for Emily, please raise your hand. We're going to go to Andrew Jones first. Go ahead, Andrew.
Thanks as always, Aaron. Emily, congrats on that Champions League title and just the reception that you got from the team when you came in. You just talk about that as well as how you rated the parade and just seeing that incredible atmosphere on the team bus.
Yeah, very surprised and shocked when I walked up to the second floor in camp. But no, it was amazing. It was like a red carpet runway, things flying all over the place, American flags, and it was really cool that literally everyone was there, like staff, players, the whole thing. I feel like we love doing these surprises at camp, which is great. But no, it's really special. Just because, too, you have club, you have country, and then it kind of meshes at some points. And I think this is an example of one of it, so it's always very special.
And the celebrations outside of Emirates.
Yeah. No words. I mean, the amount of people that showed up, I was amazed by. And then I learned it was a bank holiday, so that might have helped us out a little bit. But no, it was so cool. I think we really had the time to celebrate and connect with each other, connect with the fans. And it definitely makes it more surreal when you have that time.
Jonathan Tannewald, go ahead, man.
Thanks, Aaron. Emily, congratulations. Jonathan Tannewald of the Philadelphia Inquirer here. Obviously, you guys had to play a lot of defense in that game, and that was, I think, no surprise to you guys. Coming in, the soccer term is to suffer. You've heard that before plenty. But you've done that over the years in big games with the U.S. against Brazil and Japan and teams that play somewhat similar styles to how Barcelona plays. And I wonder if any of that previous experience helped you either mentally or tactically through that game to come away with the win.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, too, when you look at the Brazil game for the Olympics, like last game of a tough tournament with Barcelona, last game of the long season. So I definitely think leaned on that experience and that grind. And we did talk about before the game, like being able to suffer and being okay with it because of the talent that Barca has and, being okay with not having the ball, which normally as a team we don't do. So yeah, definitely the games, Brazil, Japan, like you mentioned, leaned on those.
And Aaron mentioned the celebration outside the Emirates Stadium. What's it meant to you to be in the middle of the atmosphere around a club where the support for the women's team has grown that big? And it's supposed to play in a final where both teams have grown their support for the women's clubs that big.
Yeah. Again, I'd use the word surreal and just honored in the sense that I think when you're in it, it's hard to appreciate it because you're always used to just going and what's the next thing. But then again, when you have that time to connect with the fans and the entire season being able to play at the Emirates, normally when we play away, we have the most fans at the games as is. So I just think it's been an unreal experience. And when I first went to Arsenal, I thought, I was like, this is going to be it. But then you're in it and you don't. It's just amazing. Yeah.
Can I ask when the goal went in, did you know how much time was left, or did you look up at the clock, or what were you thinking?
Looked up the clock a lot. Yeah. There was like I think it was a minute before she blew the whistle. She like blew a foul. And I think some people already started celebrating thinking she had blown the whistle. But yeah, there was a lot of clock checking after the goal. But before that, I like try to avoid it at all costs. So I stay in it.
Sophie, go ahead.
Emily, just so you know, whether it was a bank holiday or not, the Gooners would have shown up, no matter what day of the week it was for you. Last time we spoke, I did say to you that the Gooner fans have totally fallen in love with you. And that performance against Barcelona, standing ovation, to be facing the best team maybe in the history of women's soccer and to put in that performance, a couple of things for you. One, do you realise as a player that you're playing that well? at the time, or are you so engrossed in the task at hand? And then second, do you think Katie McCabe has recovered from all of the celebrations? And kudos to you. The Arsenal Nation loves you, and it was a great way to end the season. You guys are amazing, and congratulations.
Thank you. I think for your first question, no. Again, we talked a lot about being able to suffer and just a team collective in terms of our defending. And so it felt very much like a unit. And when I went, I had someone behind me. So I think you don't realize how well the team is playing and you're playing, especially in a game like that where no matter who you're up against, they're the best of the best. So you just have to stay in the moment and stay present, because the minute you switch off, they have an opportunity or create an amazing opportunity. So definitely more in the present. Second question with Katie. I think she's recovered. Yeah, I think she's recovered. I mean, she's a beast and was like, I was laughing the entire time. She was up on the stage podium with the mic. So no, I think Katie's a competitor, and I know she's probably already preparing for her international games coming up.
Amna, go ahead.
Hey Emily, appreciate your time and congrats again. Just throughout that entire Champions League run, what do you think you learned about yourself as a player, and what do you think you can take, what lessons you can take into playing with the national team, especially as you're one of the vets in a pretty young position group?
Yeah, I do think the Champions League is similar to international football in the sense that you get a taste of like all different styles and different teams from across Europe. So they are pretty similar in that sense, and you don't know what can happen. So in a tournament setting, I find both of them are similar in that way. I think the biggest difference, though, at least for us, we had a lot of times the second leg to come back into win games. And then playing Barca, we knew that we did not have that second leg, and that was it. So really, I think the last game was like a huge learning for us of like how we can start strong, start fast, and not wait until the second game. And I think that's something, especially playing in a World Cup and in an Olympics, that I'll carry in the sense that you can't wait until the second, third game.
Let's go to Jeff Kassouf. Go ahead, Jeff.
Thanks, Aaron. Thanks, Emily, for doing this. Congrats on the UWCL title. Sorry.
It's okay.
Just you joined a small list of Americans that won a title, the Champions League, and I'm curious if you thought about that. Sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry, if you've thought about that, and just if you think it'll encourage more Americans to make the move, having gone through this just like 18 months ago to make the move yourself.
Yeah. No, someone told me and Jenna were the 6 and 7.
6 and 7, yeah.
So I was like, that's a great fact to keep in my pocket, I guess. No, I think if anything, it will encourage players to, have that goal and achieve it. It is, thinking Jenna too, like she came in January and now she's Champions League, like it's just insane. But yeah, I do think with the more visibility and just acknowledgement of it, I think more people for sure will try to aim for that.
Kyle Bond, go ahead.
Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate your time very much, Emily. I was going to build off of what Jeff just brought to you. Having gone through this experience and feeling, the reception from the fans that you've had and progressing through Europe like that, not everybody can win a title, but would you, if an international teammate was mulling over a potential move like that, would this be something that you would recommend to them and say, hey, this has been a great experience for me. I think players should give this a try?
In the sense of Champions League or coming to Arsenal or going to
Just moving
Europe?
to Europe in general, like or abroad.
Yeah. I mean, I've definitely talked about this. For me personally, like, this has always been something I've wanted to do. So I definitely am going to say it's an individual choice. But for me, I was like, as soon as I had the opportunity and had some restricted free agency in the NWSL, Arsenal and going to Europe was like right on my mind. And like you said, I think being able to play in Champions League, and then specifically with Arsenal, like I had Lawton Les there, had heard amazing things about the fans and just Arsenal wanting to grow the women's game and show support and investment. So for me, it was a no-brainer, and I'm very grateful it's worked out in the sense of 2 days ago and even this whole experience, whether, I mean, when I first got there, we weren't in Champions League, so it's definitely been a grind. But yeah, for me personally, I wouldn't change a thing.
Lawton and Les being her former college teammates at UNC.
Yeah.
Michael Lewis, go ahead.
Thank you. Emily, thanks for doing this, and congratulations. I was wondering, what are Arsenal-Chelsea games like? You're talking about two of the best teams, not only in England, but in Europe. But they have to be fierce battles.
Yeah, they're intense. The atmosphere, I even think leading up to the game, the intensity and just feel is a little bit different. There's a lot of charged energy, especially depending if it's home or away. But no, they're games that I always look forward to, and I feel like specifically in those games, that's where I grow the most, because it is very uncomfortable. It is the best of the best, and you know, with the rivalry that we have with them, you never know what can happen, and it is very back to back. So.